Welcome in. I am the CryptoBullGod, and in today's video, we're going to talk about KASPA, which appears to be a sleeping giant, and it has just, in my opinion, begun to awoken from its slumbers. $1, $2, $3 possible? We will discuss. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment. You got to click that bell icon for notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday taking your crypto TA questions on All in the Charts. Also, if you appreciate the content, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on YouTube, even Instagram for some gym motivation and Tradingview. One word, CryptoBullGod. Just a quick disclosure that none of what I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply looking to educate everybody in the crypto community with sound, logical, technical analysis. We're all big boys and big girls, so we can make our own personal financial decisions. With that being said, let's get into it. All right, so for the first part of our analysis, what we're going to do is we're going to analyze intermediate price action and have a conversation regarding where I believe price is most likely going in the intermediate to shorter term. The second part of the analysis is going to get into the fun part where we're going to have a conversation about how realistic is it for KASPA to get all the way up to that $1 to $3 plus target range. All right. This is KASPA on the 3-day. I have several areas of price confluence clearly depicted here. Green is always for support, red is always for resistance. You can see our all-time high goes back here towards the 4.3 cent area. We're having a tough time at the moment getting above this 4.3 cent area, but I don't think that's going to last very long. I think we'll be above that sooner rather than later. But for now, we're getting some really nice, healthy consolidation. We have another area of price confluence at 3.7 cents. And then you can see I have a few other lines here drawn between 3.27 cents all the way down to 2.45 cents. The other thing I would like to bring to your attention on the 3-day chart is the negative divergences that I see, the bearish divergences that I see playing out here. So you can see on the RSI, even though we made a high at this spot in the current time in July, relative to our all-time high back in April, they reached the approximate same price target. Look at the RSI decreasing in value. Look at the MACD decreasing in value. This is expressing weakness in the chart. It doesn't have to play out, but it certainly is a caution flag that there could be a little bit of a deeper correction in prices before we continue moving up. This is crypto. It's a very volatile market. There would be nothing unhealthy about coming all the way down to this area before continuing up. Look at the massive uptrend that I have drawn here. We're still creating higher lows if that scenario played out and higher highs along the way once we start breaking out. So nothing at all that would be unhealthy about that occurring in the market. Now, I want to have a conversation regarding where I could see prices potentially going to before ultimately continuing up. And for that, we're going to go to a lower time frame. This is KASPA on the 4-hour chart. My major areas of support here, and I've tweaked a few of the areas based on this time frame relative to the 3-day time frame. When you switch time frames, your areas of price confluence can look differing. Okay, in this case, because we're looking at a 4-hour chart relative to a 3-day chart, we have 3, 6, 18 times more candlesticks on a 4-hour chart than we would on a 3-day chart. So it presents a lot more opportunity to develop areas of price confluence. My main zone, and look at weakness right now being expressed in the price. Okay, a couple things I would point out here. Look at the descending area of resistance we have. Look at the fact that price is broken down below the 50 simple moving average, which is the purple line. It's going to act as resistance until we can get back above it. And typically when we've broken down below the 50 simple moving average on the 4-hour chart, we can go back in time and kind of take a look at history, but we've either gone to the 200 simple moving average, the pink line, just above it or below it. My major area of price confluence that I would love to pick up more KASPA would be anywhere between 3 cents and 2.5 cents. This is what is known as my golden pocket. I do this very routinely on my channel. If you've ever caught my live streams, all in the charts that I do every single weekday, and you can click the bell icon for notifications to know when I go live each and every single day. But quite commonly I create a golden pocket for a buy zone. And my golden pocket buy zone is anywhere between 3 cents and 2.5 cents. The other thing I wanted to similarly point out in this chart, and I can show it on a couple different time spans here, but in the shorter term, as price has continued to move up, right? As price has continued to move up, look at the RSI. It's been decreasing. So we have bearish divergence on the RSI. Again, caution flags to tell us it's not certain. It's certainly not certain that we're going to see some, major pullback here to the 3 to 2.5 cent area before we start to move up and the RSI divergence starts to clear up. It's just there's an increased likelihood for it. Price certainly could continue to just churn up. It certainly could continue to churn up. And one last thing before we get into a couple pairing charts and then have the fun portion of the conversation. If we were to take a look at theoretically where prices could top out at once we start to get above 4.3 cents, there's a really easy exercise you can do to try to guesstimate where prices could go. Take the bottom of this wave all the way up to the top of this wave, all the way to the bottom of this wave movement here. If we come up, I personally would look anywhere between the 1.618 all the way up to the 3.618. It looks like I actually have an extension drawn all the way up to the 6.618. And that probably had to do with this prior wave movement here. So really anything between the 1.618 and the 6.618 based on the prior wave movement would give us a target of anywhere between 7.6 cents all the way up to 26 cents as a next area that we could look. And again, the trend-based fib extensions, the way they work is it's just trying to take our best educated guess in terms of where prices could go using Fibonacci levels and wave movements within price. Once these things begin running, and this is what's going to get into our fun part of the conversation shortly, if this thing really does make some sort of super parabolic move, you're not going to be able to draw a fib extension on it. It's just going to go ballistic and it's going to far exceed any fib extension. All right, now let's get into some relativity values here. Look at this chart. I mean, this is beautiful. This is the KASPA BTC relativity chart. You can see that I multiply the values by 100,000. And the purpose of that is just to make these values on the right-hand side here sensical. KASPA USD is significantly lower than BTC USD. So multiplying that ratio by 100,000 makes these values a lot easier to read. But you can see, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that we're just creating higher highs and higher lows. Once we break here, you can see we get another breakout. We've come down here. We've had another rounding bottom. Once we break here, we're going to go up and just do the same thing. The other interesting thing, and I do this very routinely on my channel if you've caught my live streams, I've done this, for example, with Harmony One and HBAR because they have similar USD values. I oftentimes create custom charts. Another project that I am invested in is Casper, ticker symbol CSPR. KAS KASPA and Casper have similar USD values. And so one thing I'm carefully tracking is their relativity value. And you can see right now, for the moment, KASPA has been outpacing Casper quite a bit here. And it looks like it may come down a little bit, but it certainly looks like it wants to make another major move up. So that's something I'll also be carefully tracking. Now, drum roll please, because we're about to have a very fun conversation regarding can KASPA realistically hit $1, $3 plus? Let's get into it. I want to start with Matic. Matic is the first place that I'd like to start. And I'd like to say that I have been doing, over the past week, I've been doing some research on the fundamentals of KASPA. And I really, really, really am enjoying what I'm reading. And in many ways, it's reminding me of Bitcoin, to be quite honest. It's getting me a lot more comfortable with increasing my position size in KASPA significantly, which I'm going to be looking to do. The other thing I'm going to be looking to do with KASPA, this is my first video on KASPA. This will not be my last video on KASPA. I would like to create another video at the very least, giving an update on price, but also covering some of the fundamentals and why it's such an attractive investment opportunity and why it certainly has the potential to get into the top 20, if not the top 10. Now, let's take a look at Matic. Every single crypto project out there has their moon boys, right? There's always somebody on Twitter you could go to and you could see someone saying, this project's going to be in the top 10. This is going to break into the top 20. This project's going to flip Ethereum and Bitcoin. Every project has it, but there is absolutely no way anyone could have predicted that Matic would have gone from 2 cents all the way up to roughly 280. I mean, this thing pulled a 140x. No one saw that coming, okay? I just want to point that out. As Matic was finishing consolidating and it began making its parabolic journey from 2 cents all the way up to $2.80. Let's follow the path here from 2019 all the way up until early 2021. You can see in the early stages, Matic was ranked at 141. It jumped to 112. It jumped to 63. It jumped all the way up to 19 within the top 20. And then eventually, Matic made its way all the way up within the top 10. And I still think Matic has ways to go and could be, has the potential to be in the top 5. I have stated such. I predicted it going within the top 10 back in 2022. And my more bold statement has said, my more bold statement has been that I predict it has the potential to get within the top 5. Let's take a look at KASPA. KASPA was at rank 534 way back in this area here in October 22, where it was at a fraction of a cent. 534. Now, for some reason, CoinMarketCap has difficulties capturing the true market capitalization of projects once they start exponentially going up in value. When we were back here, okay, you're going to have to take my word for this and you can calculate this, but I calculated this ahead of the video. When we were in this spot in January of 2023, we were sitting at roughly half a cent. KASPA was roughly in this 170 ranking here. It was roughly 120 million market cap, okay? Since then, if we go to CoinGecko, since CoinMarketCap is being silly, we can see that KASPA has jumped all the way up to the 61 ranking at current time of recording at 3.6 cents, 0.0365. It's jumped all the way, again, from the 500 spot to the 60 spot. That in itself is extremely impressive. And so what I want to do is I want to make some assumptions with you and I will share with them what they are. And we're going to now have a conversation regarding if that $1 to $3 plus target is possible. Let's assume, and I'm only having, by the way, this conversation in this video because I have been studying the fundamentals. I see the exuberance. I've seen the jump in market cap, and I absolutely think this is a possibility. Let me share that with you first. I do not do this with every altcoin that I put out. You can go through my channel that I put out in a TA video. I think KASPA certainly has the real prospects of making it within the top 20, if not the top 10. And let's get into that now. Let's assume for the moment that as KASPA makes its initial jump in value, for simplifying assumptions, that the rest of the market stays flat. Okay, that's assumption number one, is it makes its first parabolic move. And we're going to assume that as the rest of the market stays flat, it's going to jump to roughly the 15 spot, right where Shiba Inu is at. So simplifying assumption one is the market stays flat. Simplifying assumption two is we're right between 10 and 20 market cap, which would put it at 15. Okay, and we're also going to assume, because it doesn't have a material impact, that the circulating supply remains flat. Again, I'm doing this to make some simplifying assumptions here so that we can calculate what the prospective value would be. So if we take a look at what the market cap is currently, it's sitting at 730 million, excuse me, and I'm going to do this calculation with you right now manually, and we jump up to spot 15 at approximately 5 billion, okay, and we take 5 billion and we divide it by the 700 and roughly 30 million. That is about a 6.85x. If we take that and we multiply it by the 3.65 cents, that brings us to 25 cents. So if for the moment we assume its first parabolic leg takes place when roughly the market is flat, that takes it to 25 cents up into the 15 spot. Now, the rest of the market has to appreciate in value, right? And if KASPA wants to maintain its rough position within that, 15 spot, its second parabolic leg will take place at roughly the same time as the rest of the crypto market is running, and its rate of appreciation we're going to assume is roughly the same, okay? Now, kind of being familiar with some of these projects like Litecoin and seeing Litecoin going to 1,000, which would roughly be a 10x from here. At the end of our journey here, and if you haven't caught my latest Bitcoin video from a couple weeks ago, I would encourage you to check that out for my expectations going into the halving. I anticipate the market to top at latest by spring, summer of next year. That is when I anticipate the market to be topping. Okay, so during that last parabolic journey, assuming that KASPA has captured roughly that 15 spot, and it does roughly a 10 to 15x, again, being familiar with what I think is possible for many of the projects within this space, within this top 10 to 20. And that also accounts for the fact that, you have to think to yourself, is it going to stay at spot 15? Could it bump up a little bit? Could it fall a little bit? But again, assuming we roughly capture the 15 spot and it stays relatively within that same category, you could assume anywhere between a 10 to 15x, in my opinion, based on that current valuation of 25 cents. Now, we know if we take 25 cents times 10, that takes it to $2.50. If we take 25 cents and we multiply it by 15, that puts it at $3.75. So what that tells me, and again, these are simplifying assumptions. This is rough math that we're doing. No one can project an exact price target for it. But what this is telling me is that it is very, very, very possible that if KASPA continues to make a parabolic move in USD price, it absolutely could hit a USD value somewhere roughly between $2 to $4. Again, I just calculated $2.50 and $3.75. Let's round to keep things stupid simple like I do on this channel. $2 to $4. The fundamentals are there, in my opinion. KASPA has not been listed on both Binance and Coinbase. I think it is a matter of time, a matter of short time until it's listed on Binance, and then, as always, a matter of longer time until it's listed on Coinbase. There will be increasingly more and more eyes on KASPA. And you also have to consider the fundamental person, or excuse me, not the fundamental person, you have to consider the retail investor getting into a project like that. Ooh, KASPA, it's only 10 cents, 15, 20 cents. Oh, Bitcoin's really expensive at $50,000, $60,000. I'm going to buy some KASPA. That's how the retail mindset works. Beyond the fundamental narrative, a lot of people who don't know what they're doing will buy projects thinking things are cheap based on their USD value. I think there is a lot of potential for this project to get within the top 20, if not the top 10 someday. If you appreciated the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. Drop me a comment and share your feedback with me if you appreciated the analysis. And make sure to click the bell icon. You have to click the bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Until next time, everybody, spread awareness, carry the education forward.
So what you gonna do, $5 on CryptoBullGod and his crypto maniacs? And the entire cryptocurrency market run wild on